Hello everyone, and welcome to Module 1. This is our first learning module of the semester. It's 2 weeks long. It begins on January 24th and it ends on February 6th. During this time, we'll be exploring the origins of indigenous peoples in North America. This is a complex issue that is frequently updated and changed based on new archaeological discoveries. However, we'll start at the beginning and we'll explore the Clovis first hypothesis, or the Clovis first model. This model is based on the fact that 300 years ago, the sea level was much lower than it is today because a lot of the world's water was captive in polar ice caps as well as in glaciers. So it exposed a land bridge that connected North America and northeastern Asia. This land bridge allowed nomadic hunters and gatherers to walk through an ice-free corridor, they say, from Asia into North America, hunting giant Pleistocene megafauna, including mammoths and mastodons, with these really massive projectile points called Clovis points. The Clovis culture was then said to come and occupy North America, South America, all the way down to the tip of Tierra del Fuego, starting about 13,000 years before present. However, newer archaeological evidence from the west coast of the Americas all the way down to Tierra del Fuego are telling us a different story. The story is based on a maritime migration hypothesis in which the first people in the Americas weren't these giant megafauna hunting Clovis culture, but they were maritime-oriented hunters and gatherers that boated into the New World and were hunting sea mammals, fishing, and collecting shellfish off the rocks as they paddled down the coast, ultimately to occupy all the lands between Alaska and the tip of Tierra del Fuego. Finally, we'll learn about a new discovery in New Mexico, namely human footprints that are preserved in dry lake mud that were radiocarbon dated to be over 23,000 years old, thus changing our paradigm and understanding about how, why, and when human beings first arrived in the Americas. When we're done with science, we'll learn that science isn't the only way to understand the origins of indigenous peoples, that most indigenous communities have oral tradition that explains how they were created, when they were created, and where they were created. Most of those stories suggest that indigenous peoples were created at the dawn of time in and around the areas in which they lived and still live today. So a large part of this module will be comparing and contrasting science and oral tradition to understand the origins of indigenous peoples on Turtle Island. Which brings us to the module assignments. Students are responsible for completing 2 assignments for Module 1. Both of them are due before midnight on February 6th. The first assignment is a short 1-page essay focused on the issue of comparing oral tradition and science, and the second is a discussion post that also focuses on the issue of science versus oral tradition. As always, if you need additional clarification, if you have questions about this module's content, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me via email, on Canvas, or by attending the office hours that are linked on the homepage. Anyway, take care, and we'll speak with you soon.